Hey guys, I've got a quick video put together today to show you guys how I did the embellishments that are on the project that's linked to this post. What I did was I started with a pack of the Basically Bear Happy Little Houses, which are happy and cute. There's corrugated pieces, as with most of the Basically Bear elements. And for these, what I did was I just took the whiteboard cover off of one side. Now usually I just kind of rip these things when I'm doing it just to get a nice distressed edge, but I want the top layer to stay intact because it's going to be its own piece. So we're going to see if I can manage to get it off all in one. Try to be smarter than the cardboard. There we go. Okay, so basically what I have now is two separate pieces. Now I'm going to flip this one over so that it's visually a little different once it's finished, so that they're not both facing the same way. I'm going to take a little bit of white gesso and just kind of splodge it on to both pieces. You don't have to be very exact. You kind of really want it to be sort of smunchy and nice and textured so that it gives it some interest when it's done. Now on this one, because I flipped it over and I'm using the back side, I'm going to go a little bit more solid on this to give the white background, or mostly white background, to work with so that our colors stand out enough. Now, you're going to get covered, of course, with all this fun stuff, but that's the great thing about doing all this. Okay, bounce the brush around a little bit to get some texture to it. And normally I would clean all this off before I started the next part, but I'm going to leave it there because it's going to actually help out with the next bit. Now I've got to do the doors as well. Okay, so that is all the pieces of the houses. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take these Tattered Angels, they're actual Basically Bear branded colors. I'm going to use the Roll Top Desk, the Tarnished Silver, and the Crocheted Doily. Now they're going to go straight on the sheet instead of straight on the houses. That's going to let it kind of bead up and give some good interest to it instead of it just being sort of a flat surface. Just spray each color down on the mat on top of that gesso that's drying on there. You don't have to mix it up real well because it's going to kind of combine when we do our pieces. Now I'll start with the corrugated piece. You don't want the gesso to be completely dry because you want the Tattered Angels to sort of kind of mingle down in there with it. Just turn the gesso side down and kind of press it in. Don't scrub it around too much, but just press it in. And when you turn it over, it's going to give it a few of the nice lines and spots instead of being just an even spray like it would be if we held it and sprayed from a distance. With this piece, I am actually going to scrub just a little bit down in there to kind of get it to cover, since it's not going to soak it up as much as that corrugated piece is. And see, it does give the nice wavy, splotchy finish to it. With the doors, I'm really going to get in there and scrub. This is why I didn't clean the gesso off the mat. When you get down in here, it kind of picks up extra bits of the gesso. Let's see if I can get it to where you can see it. It makes it a little bit flaky, almost like the paint is peeling on the doors, and kind of gives it a nice antique effect. So we just have one more door to go. Now I'm not editing the time down on this video at all. This is how quickly it goes. You don't really want anything to get too much of a chance to dry in between the steps. You want to make sure that they can all kind of blend in together without too much extra work. And I'll just go in a little extra on each of them to kind of darken up with that leftover spray that's lingering on the mat. Okay, and that is them at this step. Now I'm going to let them dry, and I've got the other pieces that are already finished. What I did with them, once they were finished, I sprayed a very light mist of the Tarnished Silver over the top to kind of darken them a little because they were fairly bright when they dried. And then I went around the edges with this, the Coconut Shell Glimmer Glaze. It's also part of the Basically Bear pack, one of the two Basically Bear packs. Now, it basically just kind of has a nice brown with a little bit of green shimmer to it to sort of define the edges so they don't just fade into each other. And now that they're all finished, what they'll do is make a little nice little village to line up on a layout or an altered art piece. I've done several of the pieces. Now this is just 3 of the houses, but of course since we're splitting them in half, it's going to give us a nice assortment without having to get just a giant amount of embellishments and save a little bit of cash for, you know, cool papers or inks. So that is all there is to it. Now, if you want to try this, just about almost any pack of Basically Bare Embellish you can do this with, because almost all of them do include these corrugated pieces that are so much fun to work with. So be sure to check out the Basically Bare blog, because we've got something new almost every day, and we'll look forward to seeing you later. Thanks for stopping by.